You're not hurt because of them, you're hurt because of how you respond. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize your mind is complicit." What makes a man lose control? It's not the insult. It's not the betrayal. It's not the disrespectful stare. It's how he reacts to them. You don't suffer because someone yelled at you. You suffer because you believed their words held power. You don't lose your peace because life is chaotic. You lose it because you allowed that chaos into your mind. And here's the truth no one tells you. There is one habit, just one, that separates the emotionally untouchable from the constantly reactive. Master it, and nothing can control you. Not criticism, not failure, not even disrespect. That habit is simple but rare. Control your response. In this video, you'll discover how to build that habit like a Stoic warrior. And once you do, you'll realize no one can shake you unless you let them. 1. Pause. The art of holding still before everything falls apart. Most men think strength is in the reaction. Respond fast, hit back harder, speak louder, dominate the moment. They're wrong. True strength isn't loud. It lives in the space between the insult and your reply. Between the rush of anger and the first move you make. Between ego and awareness. In that invisible moment, you have power. You can either be pulled by the emotion or pause, breathe, and choose your response. And that first breath, that tiny pause, is where real power begins. You don't need to be silent all day. You just need 1 second. 1 second to resist the storm rising in your chest. 1 second to stop yourself from becoming the weapon someone else triggered. 1 second to say, "I will not be controlled by this." That second is everything. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't react impulsively, they responded deliberately. Not out of rage, but out of reason. And the good news? You can train this. Every day presents you with chances to pause. When someone cuts you off in traffic, pause. When you receive a passive-aggressive message, pause. When your pride is triggered, pause. This isn't suppression. It's self-mastery. It's not about pretending something doesn't matter. It's about not letting it hijack your inner state. Practice this like a Stoic. Breathe before you speak. Observe before you react. Delay your impulse, even by a second. Journal about it each evening. Where did I lose control today? Where did I hold the line? Because mastery isn't built in grand moments. It's built in small pauses, repeated endlessly. The man who can pause controls the moment. The man who reacts becomes a slave to it. And when you can pause under pressure, you've already won. Not because you fought harder, but because you stayed unmoved. That is Stoic strength. And it starts with 1 breath. 2. Don't make everything about you. The power of detachment. A cold stare. A delayed reply. A careless comment. How many times have you let small things ruin your entire day? How often do you whisper to yourself, "They're ignoring me on purpose," or "They must not respect me"? How many nights have you lost sleep over something that objectively meant nothing? Here's a hard truth most people never hear. You're not hurt by what they did. You're hurt by what you told yourself it meant. Epictetus said it best. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. You gave their behavior a meaning. You built a story in your mind. And then you let that story own your peace. This is what the Stoic path teaches us to confront. Starting today, train yourself to pause and ask, is this really about me? Or am I witnessing someone else's pain projected outward? Because most of the time, it's not about you at all. You're simply close enough to catch the shrapnel of someone else's inner war. They're cold, not because you failed, but because they're wounded. They're distant, not because you're unworthy, but because they're drowning in their own noise. And their silence says more about their chaos than your value. This isn't weakness, this is vision. The Stoic doesn't absorb the chaos of others. He observes it. He sees pain without inhaling it. He stands near confusion without being consumed. You can train this daily. The next time you feel offended, pause. The next time you assume someone meant to hurt you, ask if that assumption serves your peace. Journal at night. What story did I create today that cost me clarity? This practice rewires your lens. You stop interpreting everything as a personal attack. You start living as a man grounded in reason, not swept away by emotion. And when that becomes your habit, you become untouchable. Not because the world changed, but because your perspective did. That's the quiet superpower of Stoicism. The ability to witness chaos without letting it become your identity. 3. Choose peace over the need to be right. There's a moment in every argument, a heat in your chest, a tension in your jaw where something inside screams, prove them wrong, win this. It feels righteous. It feels powerful. But it's not. It's the ego. The ego wants to win debates, correct opinions, dominate conversations. It craves the last word not because it leads to truth, but because it fears being misunderstood. But here's the Stoic truth. Peace is stronger than victory, and clarity is more valuable than being right. Marcus Aurelius didn't engage in every disagreement. He understood that energy is limited, and not every battle is worth the cost. A real man doesn't need to dominate every room. He needs to stay aligned with his values even when challenged. You must ask yourself, is this conversation helping anyone? Is my response grounded in truth, or is it just wounded pride trying to speak? Do I want peace, or do I want to win? Here's the truth most men overlook. Being right is often a trap. You spend hours defending your position, and in the end, nothing changes except your exhaustion. The Stoic doesn't argue to win. He responds only when necessary, when truth serves a purpose higher than pride. He knows that sometimes silence is the highest form of control. Not passive silence, not avoidance, but deliberate stillness that says, I don't need this argument to validate me. And this is something you can train every single day. The next time you feel the urge to reply, pause. Ask yourself, is this a conversation or a contest? Try this Stoic challenge. Go one full day without needing the last word. Just observe, hold space, let others talk. Watch how much power you conserve. At night, journal. Where did I fight for ego today? Where could I have chosen peace instead? Peace isn't surrender. It's strength in stillness. It's walking away without losing yourself. Because the man who no longer needs to win has already won something greater, inner freedom. 4. Master your inner voice, or it will master you. Every man walks with a voice inside his head. It speaks in silence. It echoes after failure. It whispers when you're alone. And that voice, it shapes everything. If it's sharp, clear, and steady, you move with confidence. But if it's chaotic, critical, and fearful, you become your own worst enemy. You cannot master your emotions or your life until you master your inner dialogue. Here's the problem. Most men never even question it. They wake up criticizing themselves. They replay past mistakes. They predict failure before they even begin. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. The Stoics knew, man is not disturbed by events, but by the view he takes of them. But what if the event you're misjudging is yourself? What if the story you repeat every day is the very thing holding you back? The good news, that story can be rewritten, and it begins with awareness. Stoic practices to train your inner voice. Notice the first thought when you fail. Is it, I'm useless, or this is a lesson? Catch the silent insults. Would you speak that way to someone you respect? Rewrite one thought per day. If your mind says, I always screw things up, respond with, no, I'm learning how to handle setbacks. The goal isn't to be blindly positive. It's to be grounded, reasonable, and self-respecting. Because here's the truth. You become the words you repeat to yourself. Most men try to change their lives by changing their habits, but they ignore the internal script behind those habits. You can lift weights, wake up at 5 a.m., build businesses, but if the voice in your head still calls you weak, you'll self-destruct eventually. The Stoic rewrites the script. He replaces doubt with direction, shame with self-command, noise with clarity. Nightly journaling prompt. What did my inner voice say today? Was it helping me grow or keeping me small? You don't need more motivation. You need a mind that respects you. A voice that stands with you, not against you. Because once your inner voice becomes your ally, you become unstoppable without ever needing to shout. 5. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Protect your energy like a Stoic. You don't lose strength by taking action. You lose it by over-explaining. How many times have you drained yourself trying to justify a decision to someone who wasn't even listening? How often have you laid out your thoughts, your intentions, your process only to be misunderstood anyway? Here's a hard truth the Stoics understood. You owe the world your integrity, but you do not owe it your explanation. A man who explains himself to everyone has already lost control of his time, his focus, and his peace. Today's culture pressures us to be transparent, to explain every move, to clarify every choice, to make sure no one gets the wrong idea. But let me ask you, at what cost? Every moment spent defending yourself to the wrong audience is energy stolen from your mission. And here's the deeper danger. The need to explain is often disguised insecurity. It says, I don't want you to think badly of me. Please understand where I'm coming from. Let me convince you I'm a good person. But the Stoic man doesn't beg for understanding. He builds a life so aligned, so consistent, so clear, that it explains itself. Stoic practices for reclaiming your power. Before you explain, pause, ask, does this person deserve my reasoning? Discern the audience. Are they open-minded or simply looking to argue? Respond only when the return is worth your energy. If someone has already made up their mind, no explanation will ever be enough. Silence is not weakness. It's a boundary. It says, I am clear within myself. I don't need you to get it. The more self-respect you build, the less you'll feel the need to prove anything. Journal prompt. Where did I over-explain today? What would a silent, grounded version of me have done instead? In the end, your clarity speaks louder than your words. Your presence is the explanation. And the man who walks forward calm, quiet, unbothered, doesn't need to explain. He simply continues. 6. Approve yourself before seeking validation. Build an inner standard the world can't shake. You want to be seen. You want to be respected. You want someone to say, you're doing great. That desire is human. But when it becomes a habit, it becomes a trap. Because the moment you rely on external validation, you hand over your freedom. You start performing instead of living. You wait for applause before you act. You need to be noticed before you feel worthy. And that's how most men silently lose themselves, not through failure, but through dependence. The Stoics knew this. True strength begins where the need to be liked ends. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations for followers. He wrote them to stay accountable to himself. The Stoic doesn't act for praise. He acts from principle, from alignment, from self-respect. Here's how you break the validation addiction. Every day, do one difficult thing without telling anyone. Not for likes, not for credit, but because it aligns with who you're becoming. Create your own scorecard. Ask yourself, what kind of man do I respect? Am I living like him when no one's watching? Stop chasing compliments. Start building consistency. When your life is built on values, you don't need applause. Your discipline becomes the proof. Because validation is a moving target. What they praise today, they'll ignore tomorrow. What they love in you now, they may resent when you grow. If your identity rises and falls with other people's reactions, you'll never stand tall for long. But if your approval comes from within, then silence, rejection, even criticism won't shake you. Stoic reflection. Did I act today from principle or to impress? Would I still make the same choice if no one ever knew? This is the man the world can't manipulate. He's grounded in something deeper than attention. He's loyal to something higher than ego. Because once you stop performing for others, you start becoming yourself. And that kind of self-approval, it doesn't fade when the applause stops. It only grows louder inside. 7. Think less to see more clearly. Simplicity is a superpower. You don't need more thoughts. You need fewer but sharper ones. Overthinking feels like effort, like preparation, like control. But most of the time, it's just fear in disguise. You spin scenarios. You rehearse conversations that never happen. You delay decisions waiting for the perfect answer. And meanwhile, life passes you by. The Stoics didn't glorify mental noise. They trained the mind like a warrior trains his sword, clean, simple, precise. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you seek tranquility, do less, or more accurately, do what's essential. Clarity doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from thinking less, but with intention. How overthinking destroys your clarity. It creates complexity where simplicity was enough. It fills your mind with what-ifs instead of what now. It confuses motion with progress. Every time you replay the same thought, you delay your power. Every time you question your instinct, you weaken your action. The Stoic doesn't drown in thoughts. He cuts through them. He asks, what matters most right now? What's within my control? What can I let go of? These questions slice through the fog, and from that place still, focused, clear, he moves with power. Stoic practices to train mental clarity. Set a 10-minute timer when facing a decision. Make the best choice with the information you have. Then commit. Journal nightly. What thought loop distracted me today? What truth was I avoiding? Use the Stoic filter. Is this essential? If not, eliminate it. Thinking less doesn't mean caring less. It means you stop letting every thought become a storm. You stop confusing mental noise with wisdom, because wisdom is quiet. It arrives when the mind settles. And when you learn to simplify, your confidence returns. No more spiraling, no more mental clutter, just clarity, just presence, just power. And that's when you'll see what others miss. The path was always clear. You just had to remove the noise. 8. Silence is the wisest response. Let stillness speak louder than words. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. The world expects a reaction. They insult you waiting for anger. They challenge you waiting for defense. They poke your pride waiting for noise. But the Stoic doesn't flinch. He doesn't perform. He doesn't waste energy trying to prove what time will reveal. Because silence is not weakness. It is strategy, it is strength, it is restraint. Anyone can shout. Anyone can argue. But to stand still while the storm rages, that takes mastery. As Epictetus taught, if someone provokes you, know that your mind is complicit. And the greatest act of rebellion in a reactive world is stillness. Why silence is a Stoic superpower. It protects your energy from cheap battles. It confuses manipulators who feed off your emotions. It gives you space to respond with clarity, not impulse. Retaliation is often immediate, but wisdom takes pause. And in that pause, you gain leverage. Silence disarms those who expect chaos. It reveals more about them than your words ever could. Daily Stoic practice. When you're triggered, count to 5 before speaking. Ask, is this noise worth my energy? Resist the urge to clarify one more thing. Let your calm speak for itself. Practice intentional silence. One conversation per day, observe more, speak less. At night, ask yourself, where did my silence hold more weight than my words today? This is not avoidance. It's discernment. You speak when your words carry meaning, not when your ego craves release. And here's what you'll notice. The less you speak, the more your presence commands. The less you react, the more control you keep. Because the man who chooses silence when provoked isn't empty. He's full of power that no one can see but everyone feels. And in that quiet, he becomes untouchable. Not because he retreats, but because he no longer needs to fight for what he already owns. His peace. Conclusion. Nothing can affect you unless you allow it. You don't need to control the world. You only need to control your response to the world. One breath. 1 second of stillness. One deliberate choice not to react. Practice that daily. In chaos, in pressure, in pain. And you'll discover no insult can shake you. No betrayal can break you. No storm can move you. Because you've stopped living in reaction. You've started leading your life with intention. If this message resonates, comment below. I choose conscious response over unconscious reaction. And remember, this isn't just a video. It's a habit you can begin right now. One pause, one choice, one victory over yourself. Tap like if you're on this journey. Subscribe for more grounded Stoic power. We'll see you in that moment when you rise above.